Golden rain, golden rain,
Oh, let's get down a little bit. It is 7:16, 16 minutes after 7 o'clock. Our favorite time on Friday. We're joined by Gene Valentino. Good morning, Gene.
And good morning, Ted. Good morning, Michael.
Hey, good morning. Glad to have you with us. It's always a pleasure. We missed you last week. You were off gallivanting somewhere.
Well, having a cigar down in that Miami Cuban little old Havana area. Boy, that's like Ybor City over in Tampa. You come on over this way and check it out. Of course, it's always nice heading over to Biloxi and Hattiesburg and Laurel. You got some great country and some great fishing over there.
Hey, look, everybody, at least me and you both enjoy a good cigar every once in a while. That's a great place. Ybor City's, something I'm very familiar with. I used to have an office down there in another business, and I used to go down there all the time, do the same thing, get them to roll cigars for you right there in Ybor City. They're usually people on the street doing that.
Yeah. Hey, I've got some points I want to bring up with you today. May I run with it for a second?
Go right ahead.
Okay, so the good news first. Our economy. We're looking at encouraging jobs report coming out this morning. That's the bright side. Here's the other side. That George Soros demon I told you the door would swing back the other way, probably slower and more painfully delayed and not as quick. Justice is painfully slow in America. If there's a criticism I have, that's it. But that Soros candidate, that St. Louis Circuit Prosecuting Attorney Kimberly Gardner, has announced Thursday, that after weeks of blistering pressure from Missouri lawmakers, she would resign. She's resigning effective June 1st and will be handing the governor a resignation letter today. I could not be happier. This is not the first. There's been a series of small wins in taking down the George Soros empire, which is this demonic infiltration of our government democracy that has been compromised by this one person alone. And it's showing that the American people, through its legislative leaders, lawmakers, or the individuals themselves, will see a swing back, a tsunami swing back in conservative governance come by 2024. Again, not fast enough. And finally, James Clapper and John Brennan, NIS and CIA directors, respectfully, going to testify this week before the House Oversight Committee on what? Their intelligence agency compromises in working to promote a political candidate within their agency. This is the most illegal breach of our constitutional republic. And now we have clear and fearless leadership, so desperately needed now more than ever to protect this nation. Hey, Michael, which is worse? American spies interfering with this past 2020 election, or at least a dozen Biden crime family members receiving millions of dollars from Ukraine, Russia, and China? How much money has the Biden crime family syndicate made? My words, we didn't even talk about the border, which is one issue alone for which he should be impeached now, as the volley of infiltration succeeds historic levels on a daily basis. This is an outrage to the protection of this nation.
Yeah, it certainly is. This prosecutor that you're talking about, Kim Gardner, remember, she was the one that prosecuted the attorney and his wife for standing on their front yard and holding weapons in their yard because people were coming through there and threatening them. That she prosecuted those people, and that guy got off, and the governor, I think the governor pardoned him, didn't he, or something like that? But
Yeah, the governor pardoned him completely, but it was an embarrassment that you took a Soros-supported prosecuting attorney, this Kim Gardner, and try to make him a scene of this guy, a tax-paying professional attorney, a good attorney doing well for his community, having to pull out an AR-15, which he legally owned, from within his home to step out on the front of his house to protect the mob scene at the front gate of his house from tearing down the gate. Is this what we've come to? Is this what we're going to tolerate? And then we
well, in
make a
short, yes.
stink. Yeah, yeah. Well,
In short,
and then in the
yes.
same week, Michael, we make a stink about a United States military veteran on the New York subway having to protect the folks in that subway car from the antics of some lunatic who's a wanted felon running around like a goon, disturbing and intimidating the passengers, puts the guy into a chokehold. The guy unfortunately dies, and now this American veteran is being called in for criminal wrongdoing. What are we gone crazy? The accent's on the wrong syllable, and we need to take back our democracy aggressively, immediately. All of us. This constitutional republic requires each and every one listening to this to step up and defend this democracy, this constitutional republic, from any onslaught of further socialism, Marxism, and autocratic control. And hidden behind the scenes, the divert, deflect theory we've talked about 20 times. That China element coming in to divert, deflect, and distract your attention away from their ultimate intention of taking down this nation, starting with what they're doing to pay off the Biden family and Joe Biden in particular. The whistleblower is coming forward, and he's got evidence now that shows that there are at least 6 decisions that Joe Biden made to put China first and allow China to trade on the New York Stock Exchange. Can you imagine America being able to trade on a Chinese stock exchange? They'd laugh us right out of the country.
Yeah. And then you look at our border situation, which is another Joe Biden failure. We had the border headed in a direction with the new wall going up to sort of slow them down from coming into our country so quickly. That was all stopped when he came into office. It has cost us millions and millions of dollars in canceled contracts because we had to pay contractors for things that they didn't even do because they canceled the contract. Then you had, tons of steel and rebar and all the things that go along with building a wall laying around in, states like Texas and New Mexico and Arizona. So, we don't have a border. And now this Title 42, which is really, Title 42 was really had something more to do with the pandemic than it had to do with just stopping people from coming in. But you can't let people come in that could possibly be sick. That's what Title 42 was. It ends in a few days, and the border is absolutely packed with people trying to get across. And so, you wonder, whose side is this guy on?
Yeah. Well, just how squeamish have we been in not wanting to mention the G word, the gun word? I mean, average citizens under this constitutional republic are entitled through the Declaration of Independence, not to mention the Second Amendment, to pick up their arms and defend themselves against hostile intruders. And if it is a crisis, are we going to spend our time prosecuting loyal citizens, tax-paying citizens who have followed the rule of law for a generation, their entire life? Are we going to prosecute that individual for holding a gun in their hand, just like that attorney in St. Louis, and defend their property? I don't think so. I'm on record saying that it's now incumbent upon you, me, and the hundreds of thousands listening to step up and protect this nation by protecting themselves and to protect their property and to protect the people and their family around them. Meaning, rise up and hold arms in your hand to defend this nation from hostile intrusion. China's picked this battle, and they have diverted and deflected our attention long enough through a dummy we call Biden or Brandon, whichever you want to call him. The fact of the matter is, this man needs to be impeached now. I don't care if let's deal with one issue at a time. Yeah, I know Kamala will be next in line, but the bottom line is we'll deal with one issue at a time. The Biden Crime Syndicate needs to go. They need to be prosecuted. The evidence is clear. The whistleblower is a credible source of information. What happened to the transparent White House that Biden promised us and to release documents? The Justice Department and the FBI have conspired to protect Biden, and they too, they need an enema in those two agencies from top to stern. And guess what? There's only one guy I know that can handle it. His name's Donald J. Trump. And if this nation is to survive, even though there's other credible candidates on deck ready to go, I can't trust them. I can only trust the guy that's proven. And that's why I've been so passionate about getting Trump back in there. He needs to do an enema on that place and clean house from stem to stern and bring back a constitutional republic that this nation's been denied for almost a generation.
You know, you talk about Donald Trump. Now, he does have the ability to go back in there and do that. There's no question about it. But there's still a lot of people in all walks of the Republican Party that don't want to see him back in there. And many of them, you just have to question. You have to question, what are the reasons behind that? And I think, I'm not positive on this, but I think a lot of them just don't. They're a part of the government, what do you want to call it? The swamp, whatever the word is, but they're also making money in Washington, and they like it when they're able to make money in Washington. And that's why you see congressmen going in there with no money and coming out with 3 homes like President Biden. Where did he get the money to have 3 homes? I mean, it's just tough enough for people to make.
Yeah. Let me tell you who didn't go in there. Let me tell you who didn't go in there and do side deals to get 3 homes. His name's Donald Trump. He walked into that job with billions of dollars in his back pocket, and then had the audacity to donate his hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in salary back to the American people. What are we, so stupid not to see this in plain sight? This is the guy you want working for you, for God's sake. What are we going to be neutralized by this Pollyannish, woke sensitivity, worry about your feelings type of people? Oh my God. And to spend time with John Kerry and the ilk distracting your attention about climate change and carbon.
10 seconds.
10 seconds. See you next week. God bless America.
Thank you, Gene. You were fired up today. We appreciate you joining us on Friday, as you always do. Looking forward to next week.
Best to you, buddy.
Thanks.
Hey, there's no doubt where Gene stands, is there? Boy.
No doubt.
People everywhere listening to Gene Valentino and Michael Paul. Good morning. It is 7:30. We're at the bottom of the hour. We've still got